Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to Town Hall number 34. It's June 6th, and wow, it's been an exciting week last week. Last week we had our spotlight days. We had not just one, not two, but three spotlight days where our amazing proposers pitched their proposals live to the community. And from what I've heard, everybody enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed it. Let us know if you've been there. Oh, wow, we have people from US, Nigeria, Chicago. Good to see all of you. For anyone who's new here and you don't know what Deep Funding Town Hall is, Deep Funding is SingularityNET's decentralized funding program, which funds AI builders and creators, which help us grow SingularityNET's decentralized marketplace. We're currently in our fourth funding round. Over 200 proposals have been submitted in this funding round, which is extremely exciting. And yeah, we're currently in the reviewing phase, and voting starts on June 10th, I believe. Yes, June 10th. So, but today in this town hall, we have exciting things going on. Let me pull up the agenda. We have Rafael Presa and Jan Horlings, who will give an overview over the voting process in Deep Funding Round 4. And Jan is going to introduce a little voting help or cheat sheet to us, which is going to make it a lot easier for all of you to pick your favorite proposals and to vote on them. And then, also very exciting, we have Juana, who's going to introduce the new system for calculating the reputation and voting scores to us. So I'm excited. Sorry, someone needs to be unmuted. Sugar.
So, Chris, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's our mic. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. All right, Jan, I'm gonna make you co-host. Rafael, I'm gonna make you co-host, and also Joanna, I'm gonna make you co-host. And then I'm gonna hand it over to Jan or Rafael. Do you wanna throw in a quick word before you get started with the presentations?
I'm fine if you take off, Rafael, and I'll wait patiently for my turn.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Ian. Hey guys, thank you very much for all of you that were able to attend this call. And for those that don't know yet, I'm Rafael Presa, and I am the operations manager for the Deep Funding program. So hopefully, if you are a proposer, we are going to meet soon in an onboarding for the awarded teams meeting, where we are going to go through the entire process of how well, the development of your projects are going to reflect and impact the deep funding operations and vice versa. But for today, what we have is in the agenda is how to assess the proposals for voting, right? The marketing circle, the entire community of deep funding, internal, external, the ecosystem of SingularityNET, everybody did a very good job on this first step of submissions, where we received during 3 weeks plus 1 week on the preparation. We received a lot of okay, now it's better. We received a lot of proposals, totaling 210 proposals. After that, we went through this process of reviewing those proposals under the scope of eligibility, where we had 192 proposals being eligible towards this voting phase, which is the next one, right? Under our perspective, as much important as the submission moment, where we have we will try to reach out to as much proposers as possible with as much quality as possible to put in the proposals itself. We also need the voters, right? I would say in the same two dimensions. So we need the quality and we need the quantity. On quantity, it's of course having more and more of you giving your perspective on the proposals that's submitted. And the quality part is exactly what we are going to quickly. I'm not going to take too much of your time here to discuss, because in a decentralized process as the one that Deep Funding is going through, we are giving you the decision power. And it's not only in words, right? You are definitely getting your knowledge, your expertise, your willing, your vision of the future of SingularityNET and the decentralized artificial intelligence ecosystem and environment on your hands to vote in these proposals that we are going to fund. So first of all, you have to have in mind this. Each of you are very, very, very important for this program, for the future of the artificial intelligence and the future also of the society and the world we have now. So it's with that responsibility, when you feel and when you know that you have that responsibility, hopefully you are going to take very much care with the votes that you are going to cast, okay? After that, you have to have in mind that what's very important for when it's voting. You should know about the core mission and vision of SingularityNET. The marketplace itself, where it's the purpose of Deep Funding, it's to populate with quality and feed with good quality AI services. It's the core issue or the core instance of SingularityNET at this point, when technically speaking. And the vision of SingularityNET around the decentralization of artificial intelligence, going towards AGI, it's what we have to do now. So the proposals are there. We have to then dig. I would say for those that like, we have to fish, but we are not going to fish these proposals as aleatory or random way. We have to use the right bait, the right instruments to do it, okay? Jan is going to talk about the instruments that we have later, but for now, I would like to give you this overview. So, as voters from the next Monday, the 10th, you made me a co-host, right, Judith? So I can share my screen. Okay. So this is our website. For those that don't know, please go there, navigate, read as much as possible. Here you have this big watch where we have 3 days, 17 hours and 47 minutes for the next stage of the funding, which is the voting. If you come to projects, you are going to have the awarded projects. You're going to have the open proposals, which are the proposals that are currently being selected, okay? The selection are coming from there. If you come here, you are going to have this voting guide. So click it. It's brand new. We just brought this. And here you are going to have an instance of Gitbook where you can go and navigate through the best practices for voting, okay? The importance of your vote, we already discussed it as soon as my internet connection collaborates. But yeah, so we discussed about the vote and how it helps to innovative projects to onboard. Important to remember, have plenty of categories, right? So we have plenty of categories. That's why it's important for you to go through Sorry, I lost my focus here. And there are other categories called pools in this case that you can vote as well, not only for the onboarding projects. Understanding the process, I also just said to you, so we have the project submission time, the eligibility check, and community experts recommendation process, which we are going now until Sunday, okay? And then the final selection through vote. On the eligibility check, I already told you, so this decentralized process of having circles and circle members that are selected from the community to read all the proposals and say, hey, this is not following the rules, so you are not going to be eligible, you can't participate in the next stage. And the ones that that are complying with the rules, they are going to go. We also have the experts' recommendations. So those are recommendations coming from also another set of community members that we have 50 people assessing the proposals and selecting, hey, this one here seems interest, so interesting for the whole purpose. So we can bring it and say, hey, we at least recommend you to take a further or a thorough look and read it, these proposals, for you to take your decision on your vote. This is going to be very important when we consider that we had 192 proposals coming to vote in 1 week. Probably are not going to be able to read all the proposals, assess in the right way, and cast your vote, right? So it's a functionality here that we have in Deep Funding, these experts' recommendations that we can take from the website here. I believe I got back to the initial page here, right? You can see the website. And then we can have expert reviews here, which are tagged. So we have 40 proposals that were tagged as expert reviews. If you choose one, I'm choosing, guys, in a randomly way, okay? I'm not saying, hey, go to that and or not. You can click in reviews and rating, of course. You have the overview here, proposal description. Please do as much as possible, go through those that you are willing to vote, okay? The milestones that proposal is submitting and proposing. So take also a thorough look, because the eligibility reviewers, they will not say, yeah, it's not good. I didn't like these deliverables if they comply with the rules. So it's part of the role of the voter to say, this doesn't seem very good. But again, you can rely on the expert reviews if the expert review is, for instance, in this case here. Also, go through the discussions that this proposal received, right? You will see some community members made comments questioning or criticizing or other potential situations. And then you have the engaged community or proposers answering, okay? This is a very important situation, because you see that the proposer is not the proposer just didn't throw the proposal there and left. He is really focused, or she is really focused in making happen and understand what the community is saying, and even implementing, okay, the changes. Sometimes just happen. It's not possible anymore because we are in the review period, but before it was possible. So go through this and also make your comment if you think it's the case. Engage with the proposer. You can find in Telegram, Discord, Twitter, why not? And even here in the discussion, which would be the best. And ask your questions to be sure that that's the proposal you want to vote, okay? And then we get to the reviews and ratings. Here you have two sets of types of reviews. One is the community reviews with scores from 1 to 5 around feasibility, viability, desirability, and usefulness. If you click here, you will be able to check and see what each of these parameters or criteria are representing. And you can also check the feedback from community members. But as I was saying, we selected 50 experts in our community, even out of our community, to bring their expertise into this. It was a two-phased approach where we had the teams that were split between technical backgrounds, business backgrounds, and very important, members of experts that were proposing were not allowed to review proposals in the same pool. Okay, so if I am a proposer from the new projects pool, I wasn't allowed to do the review in the new projects as an expert reviewer. Okay, to keep the fairness and ethical of the process. So you have the teams. Each team was designated to one set of proposals. These proposals were first reviewed individually. So we have, for instance, 5 people in that team. They review all the proposals, 20 proposals that were assigned. Then they are going to do their own assessment. The second step is, let's get in a call. So you have these 5 members getting a common call or a group call and say, hey, this is why I believe this, and this, and those are not are eligible, are good to recommend, and those and the others are not. And then they dialogue and get into a consensus on the score of each criteria and an overall score for your proposal as well. Very important to mention, we didn't want to sign negative sides of the proposals. Okay, so we are not going to get here, of course, among 192 proposals, we can have it, right? So a proposal that you are only going to say negative things. So that's not our focus. We are not bringing here reviews that bring negative topics. But yes, concerns. It's important for you when you are voting to read the concerns that the experts, even though it's recommendable, it's recommended, the proposal, there are some concerns. So you can have your own assessment on the concerns of the experts, if it's the case, and take your vote on it. Okay? So yes, please, this is a very important step for you to come here, check all these tabs in the proposal, and give your final vote. Okay? So here's the team, for instance, that we have in this particular project. That would be also interesting for you to assess and see their background, their bio, and where they are, about their expertise, if they are able to deliver, and so on. Okay? So now, getting back to our guide, voting guide, understanding the process is about this, that the 3 steps that we mentioned here, the 3 periods, sorry, of the whole proposal. And we are going to have the short list of proposals for voting. Okay, we are going to go again here. I kind of advanced myself or started too early perhaps, but again, ensure the proposals align with SNET mission. Okay, if you see, okay, there is something, but it's not that much, it's the first step for you to say, perhaps it's not a good one to vote, okay? Or perhaps you want to, we are going to discuss further. You have from 1 to 10 score to vote. So perhaps you are willing to give a lower grade if you are not compelled to not vote, or because it's not convincing enough for you. Again, open projects and proposals page, and you see here you have the link. So if you get the guide, it's good, because then you go in the right flux or flow. Consult comments and reports, watch proposal videos. Yes, that one didn't have, but We had 3 days, as Judith was mentioning last week, of spotlight days. Spotlight days are events, online events, where the proposers go and pitch 3-minute speech of their proposals. Okay, talking about, we are getting these 3 minutes, editing and putting in the details page of each proposal. Okay, so you can go there. For those that were attending and presenting, you are going to see the videos. We are still delivering some, okay, especially those that we got from email. So we have to go through this process, but soon you are going to have it, it all. Crucial, ask critical questions, okay? How does this project support the decentralized AI platform? Is it getting to the mission of SingularityNET? Is the project aligned with the mission? Is the project scope realistic and clear? So you are also kind of going through that 4 criteria that we discussed: feasibility, viability, usefulness, and desirability. Okay, so this is very important to keep this track when voting, and so on. Is the budget reasonable for the project, and so on. Again, as I mentioned, we are not saying, if a proposer says that the project that they are proposing costs $150,000, and because this is the max cap of that pool, it's not us saying no, this is not right, it's way less, right? This is part of course, we are going to have the expert reviewers doing that as well, right? At least not recommending, but it's part of the community role, let's put this, as voters, to check this and say, this doesn't make sense. So no, I'm going to give it a very low grade here when voting, because it's not right from my perspective. Okay, we don't want to be as centralized as deciding and gatekeeping in that sense, at least. And engage with the proposal team, as I mentioned. Okay, I'm going to step here just for a moment because we are bringing Ian later to talk about this. We have the YouTube channel, Community Expert Recommendations, okay, and Deep Funding Portal, as we discussed, to check everything. And very important, how to vote. I mean, physically going through the process. You can come here in the guide and click in this link, or you can go to the voting.deepfunding.ai website, which will bring you to this page. Unfortunately, due to the fact that we are configuring and setting up the portal for bringing 192 proposals into it for vote, we don't have it with these proposals for me to go with you through the voting process, okay? But you are going to see here the pools. So select a pool. At least the last time it was this. It can be slightly changed, but it's normal like this. You go to the pool and you click in your you have the list of projects, give your score, okay, in each project with the image, and also we are bringing the scores of the reviewers for it, okay? But how you can do that? You have to have a wallet, a crypto wallet, okay, that is AGIX friendly to vote, okay? You have to have AGIX in it. And why you have to have AGIX in it? Because, of course, we want community members to vote, but also because this is part of a very important parameter of the voting. In the Web3 blockchain industry, we know that we have whales, right? Those people that have many tokens. And we don't want to be, we don't want to dispatch or not having people just because they don't have, they have too much tokens. But we are not also making one vote per token. We are using a quadratic system that is the square root of the number of the tokens that you have. And then we are going to have a better way in your vote, okay? So if you have more tokens, you are going to, if you have more tokens, it's going to have a heavier way than if you have less, okay? But it's not that exponential, or it's not that much, if we can say, the weight of your tokens. So at a certain moment, we are going to take the snapshots of the wallets that voted. And then we are going to calculate the square root. And then it's going to be weighted, okay, into the votes. And then we are going to have the final list of the proposals that were selected, okay? Just as a clarification, so it's the votes times the weight. And even though you had more, or your proposal had more than 6.5 points in score, which is our threshold, if a proposal has less than 6.5, it's not going to be selected, okay, at all, because it has to be above this. And even if your proposal is above, your proposal has to be beyond the limits of the funding for each pool. I mean, the first one from a pool with 100K max cap, it's 5,000K, and then 20K for the second one, 20K for the third one, 10K for the fourth one. No other proposal can jump in or be selected, even though it has more than 6.5. Okay, if the fourth one has 50, the budget is 15K, it's also not going to get in, because we only have 10K. It goes to the next one above 6.5. If it has less than 10K, it's going to be awarded. Okay. I am telling this because previously we had situations where the proposals were, why? I had more votes than this one, but then these situations happens, okay? Please also, besides the guiding, you can go to the vote rules page where we are going to also describe this here, okay? So for your wallet, just connect your wallet. Okay, so you are going to check here. These are the wallets that we are supporting. So come here, Ethereum, Cardano, get your wallet, connect, and then you are going to be able to vote. Okay, it's as simple as that. We can, if you have more than one, we have the Vault app that is going to concatenate the wallets that you have and make it only to make it easy, right, for you to vote, not necessarily going with each wallet that you have and voting all the proposals that you want to vote. So it's through the connect wallets here that you are going to see that. Okay. Yeah, so manage your wallets and so on. Okay. The voting procedure, vote on proposals, vote consensuously, as I mentioned, rank your proposal on a scale of 1 to 10. Here we have the weight, the quadratic voting as well. And we would like very much to thank you, all of you that are doing this. We know it's not easy. It takes time. It takes your expertise for doing that. It takes you, well, mind space as well, right, for doing so. In order to support you, given the high number of proposals submitted, the Deep Funding Program, Ian, more specifically, created the voting, or the Vote Helper, which is a tool that are going to support your vote and make it easier for you to assess and see in an overview which proposals should you going and deep diving in order to understand and vote. Okay, so I'm gonna give the floor now to Jan. If you have any questions, we can perhaps wait after Jan present, and then I can get back to it. Okay, so thank you very much. Jan, please.
Thank you, Rafael. That was very helpful, very good walkthrough, very detailed. So, Jan, over to you.
Yeah, is it my turn or is it Joanna's turn? I thought I saw it differently in some schedule there. I don't mind, I'm flexible, but
No, it
Yeah, and I
makes more
think
sense because it should support the voting,
right.
right? So
All right, then let me share my screen. One moment. Well, let me first not share my screen, but give some introduction. So what we did, we created a sheet, which is a kind of summary of everything that we did over the past round. And reflecting on it, it's basically an aggregation of a huge amount of work that has been done, not just by me and Rafael and the review circle, but by every one of you, by the team that developed the portal, by all the experts. And so if I look at the numbers that we have this portal, and wouldn't be possible without this portal and our development team of only two developers, part-time UXer, has been working on that for a year. And you all know that we had 210 proposals submitted, which is amazing. And there were in total, I think, 133 proposers. So a number of them had multiple proposals, but that's still a very large number. We had a review circle of, I don't know, 10, 15 people being active in doing the eligibility reviews before and after the stable period, as we call it sometimes. And also very, very amazing. We had, I think in the end, 46 experts doing a total of almost 750 individual assessments of proposals. So yeah, it's amazing. And I think at the time I looked at the sheet, we had 92 pitch videos in, and a lot of them were created during the 3 town halls and 5 breakout sessions that we had. So yeah, these numbers are extremely impressive and gratifying. And yeah, what I did, I think we shouldn't forget that this is really the first iteration of our new portal, and it's not perfect yet. I think it was pretty well received also in the survey that we got. There were also some issues. Some turned out in hindsight to be very easily fixed, but unfortunately only on the last day we found out that there was some plugin giving some issues in saving and load times. But in general, I think everything went very well, and this is an extremely good foundation to build upon for next rounds. And before we have a next round, we will give some more attention to the RFP process. So yeah, I like to think I like here to think thank everybody that participated, and all of you proposers here, and also all the teams that were busy behind the curtain, so to speak. And maybe this is also a good moment to make one more remark here. And the basis of the remark is we, as in Deep Funding staff, circles, me and Rafael, we are you. And what I mean with that is sometimes we get a little bit urgent requests like, I need my payment today, or I have submitted my presentation video yesterday and it's still not on the website. How is that possible? Well, You are not our customers. You are part of our community. And I think I want to make this very clear. A lot of the people that propose here get awarded with quite a large amount of money. And I'm pretty sure that a number of the teams and the people that get awarded do get a pretty decent hourly rate out of that award. At the same time, the people that are working so hard for you behind the scenes, they are doing that work as semi-volunteers. They get $10 an hour as a basis, sometimes $20 an hour. And I think that is less than some of you earn based on the awards that you are granted by this program. So this is also a call out. One, to treat the team that is working so hard with due respect. And also, if at some point you're not satisfied with the quality or the service or the speed that we deliver, then don't ask us how we can do better, but ask yourself how you can help us to do better, because we are you. This is not two things. Deep Funding is a community-driven program, and the people that are doing this are community members just as you. But these are community members that spend a lot of their free time for relatively low pay because they're enthusiastic about the program. So yeah, with this call out, I hope you all feel you all give all the people that worked so hard behind the scenes, and including yourself as proposers, the reward, the recognition, and the respect that they deserve. And I hope maybe you also feel motivated to help yourself, because I think as an awarded team member, you owe the community also not just to deliver a good product, but also to participate and be engaged and help this community and this program go forward. So, little speech of Preacher Jan this time. Sorry for that. But I thought it was a good moment to send this message. So let me now start sharing my screen and show you what we've accomplished in one sheet. So let me see, where are we? Yeah. Yeah, let's do this one. So I'm not sure if you will be able to see multiple tabs here, but let's see how that works. So as of today, we have this in the, so this is the proposal page. Now, one thing that we did, we changed the order on this page a little bit. So right now, by default, it is sorted on oldest first. So that means that we, as a tribute to the people who started submitting at the beginning of the period instead of the last day and hours, we feel that we owe it to them to give them also the right visibility here. To be honest, what I wanted to do, but I hope that I will be able to do, is to have it sorted right now on expert review, rating, and then on date. So two-level hierarchy sorting. We will probably have that in the next round. That means that when reviews, ratings are coming in, expert ratings, it will change the order of the proposals. We didn't manage to get it out in time right now. It needs to be tested, and it's a little bit tricky to do that multi-level sorting. So you can see that hopefully in the next round. But for now, it's oldest on top, but you can still sort on newest on top if you prefer. And of course, you can filter by expert review. So those are, you could say, the recommended projects. So if I filter on expert review, 208, so we started with 210, there are 208 left two people pooled their proposal. And you will see that 40 proposals, so that's about 20% if I calculate it quickly, are rewarded and are recommended. And I think that's actually, we didn't put any thresholds, we didn't put any guidance there, but I think to have 20% be recommended as the best is a very good ratio. So if you are not aware yet, if you are part of these recommended, and that's very well possible, I invite you to go to the sheet, to the site, look up your project, and you will see whether you're among those projects or not. And here we have a new button, which is called Summary Spreadsheet. We thought a little bit about the name. If you have a better name for Deep Funding Round 5, let us know. But if I click on it, what you will see is a summary view of everything we did over the past 5 weeks or something, 6 weeks, and before, if you count all the preparation there as well. And I created a sheet, or we created a sheet, because we want to give you as much tools as possible to make up your mind. And also because we were suddenly aware that it's impossible to have a proper assessment of 200 proposals. There were 70 proposals, there were only 17 proposals, which is a very low number, that were not eligible. So that still leaves us with 190 something proposals. I say something because I'm not sure about these two that submitted, whether they are or not in the not eligible one. So how do you slice the elephant? We have some tools on Deep Funding where you can filter, but it's still hard to find something back. We will have a search function at some point. We're not there yet. We will have categories there, but we're not there yet. We decided not to do that this round because we needed a process for that. But in thinking about how would you work with 200 proposals, we thought it would be very helpful to have categories there. So the big message here is for, and we will repeat that on different channels to our wider community, is don't be impressed by those 200 proposals. Look at this sheet and go through the site, choose 5 or 10 or 20 proposals or a topic category that you have affinity with, that you care about, and then just vote for that subset. Give 10 proposals a vote, whether good or bad, that's up to you, but give 10 proposals a vote. And if we have 500 people doing that, then we get a pretty good result. So that's my call to action for you here and for everybody out there. And to help you do so, we created these categories there. Here, we send out a survey to all team members to ask them what are the categories that you would assign your project to. Some of them we added ourselves because we didn't get a response. But I think as an indication, this will help you. So if you're interested in agriculture or food or in commerce or in financial or DeFi, you could easily find the projects that fit to that category. I think I will try that out right now. So because it's a shared sheet, we can't allow everybody to filter, because if one person filters, everybody will see it. But I think you can create a filter view here. And I could filter here on X. There's somebody with sound in the background. It's Nick. Nick, can you please? Yes, thank you, Nick. So I could sort here, filter here. Yeah, and now I see all the projects that had whatever category this was. I forgot. Let's put it back. Or I can just. So this will be just for you only. Don't save. yeah, those were the finance and DeFi projects. So if I go down here, you will see the number of projects per category. So I think we made a decent choice in the type of categories we have here. There weren't also not that many suggestions that were serious that we wanted to add. So I think by adding these categories, so we have pools like ideation phase and new projects and marketing. But on top of these pools, we now also have these categories that will allow you to zoom in on the projects that are most interesting to you. Now, what we did for the rest is add some other information that will help you zoom in on projects. So this sheet is filtered first on pool, then on expert rating, then on budget from high to low. Don't ask me why, but thought that made sense. Could also have done it the other way around. And then finally on title, because you have to filter or sort on something, right? So it will also help you to zoom in on those proposals that were recommended or given a high grade by our expert reviewers. And with all this information here, so you see and the project name, you can see who proposed, you can see the pool, obviously, you can see the amount of budget that they are asking. And here is also the summary. So if you make this a little bit bigger, you can also have the summary right here on the screen. And also for the expert rating, we have here just the grade, the overall grade, but also the explanation that comes along with that grade. So even without going to the site, with this sheet, you already have a lot of information at your fingertips to help you filter all these projects and filter them down to the top 5 or 10 that you want to have a deeper look at. And if you want to have a deeper look at them, then of course you can just go to the website. We have a link there. And as Rafael was explaining, there you find all the information of this project. Nice thing to add, while we were in the stable period or in the review period, we made a small change to this overview. So you will see the summary, you will see how the project will contribute to the platform, because that is the main goal of deep funding. So it should be on top of your mind. Some textual information about why this particular team is the best team to do this project. And last but not least, an overview of all the AI services that the team is bringing, if it is in the proper category. So in new projects, you would see these AI services on top, because we believe that is also a very important thing to use for your assessment. And then if you really want to dive in deep, you can click on show more, and then you can see all the information and the other tabs. So I won't go over that again, because Rafael already did so. So a link to the pitch video. I need to say something about 2 things about this sheet. The pitch videos, I think there are 92 here at this moment. But they're still being added. I think we're not quite complete yet, but I'm not 100% sure. So as they are still being added, this sheet will be refreshed maybe once a day or something like that. So there might still be changes. One other thing is that Rafael has kindly asked the review team to double and triple check for all the assessments that we made and the eligibility reviews, to be absolutely sure that we didn't make any mistake here. So I don't expect anything. We went through it over and over again. But it might be that we still encounter something here. And yeah, then be assured that before the voting period, we will have that changed here and in the voting portal as well. So In the voting portal, the order of the projects in the voting portal will be the same as the default order you will have if you see the sheet. Now, if you want, of course, you can also copy the content of this sheet, put it on another tab or another sheet, and then filter it and do whatever you want, sort it, filter, etc., just to help you. But if you continue to do that and there should be updates on the sheet, then there is a chance that you might miss such an update. So yes, this is what we basically worked on. Well, all together, because like I said, it's an aggregation of all the work that we've been doing, but also what we did to help you make your decision based on this tremendous amount of proposals that we have flowing in. So this is our way of helping you make your decision. I think I'll stop sharing now so I can see your faces again.
Thank you, Jan. This was
Questions? Yeah.
phenomenal. Is there any questions? How is everyone liking the cheat sheet? Is this helpful for you guys? Let us know in the chat or raise your hand.
You can also do so if you don't like it. But then you have to tell me why you don't like it.
We have a hand up.
Clement.
Yes.
Yeah, Jan, that was awesome. Rafael, that was awesome. I guess Juana Attieh's turn is also going to be awesome. I'll first like to start by saying congratulations to everybody, to the team. I remember a couple of meetings brewing up immediately after the DFR4. We talked about, the potential to handle challenges that were going to come with, further rounds in terms of having increased participation. But then it appears that the Deep Funding team is just more than capable of handling this. And yeah, kudos to everyone. So I just want to ask a couple of questions. Yeah, so I reached out to Rafael a couple of days ago about the wallet support on the platform, and then I asked about Euro wallets for people who use Euro wallets, and the answer was that it wasn't supported. But then I think I saw something that looked like Euro today. So I don't know if it's now supported or not.
Let me check.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, and then for the second one as well, I want to know.
No, Euro is not supported, and we are also not able yet to support Ledger on Cardano. So we're working on that. As you can imagine, the blockchain team has been very busy and is still very busy on ASI. We had for the ASI vote a different kind of voting portal, or we had some tweaks. We had some reasons for that. But for this deep funding vote, we go back to our traditional voting portal. So yeah, there are some things that can be improved there. Well, everywhere there are things that can be improved and will be improved. But these are the current wallets that you will see on mywallets.singularitynet.io are the wallets that you can use for voting currently.
Okay, and that's fine. Thank you. So the second question here is that regards if there's going to be some sort of reward for contributions in this round, the wallets which you're going to be linking to vote, but that's the same wallet you're going to be using to receive your community rewards for this funding round.
That's a good question. So also very important. If you want your contributions and your reputation, as Joanna will explain later on, or Igor or Kenrick, I don't know who will. If you want that to weigh in your vote, what you need to do is to make sure that the collection ID of Walt is also in your profile. We had a way of doing that by adding a wallet, but that didn't work 100%. Also, don't think it made things a lot easier. So let me share my screen here. Let me share my screen. Oh, wait a minute. I have to add a wallet there. Not sure before I can. Wait a minute. I'll just for security, I'll stop sharing and see if I can add a wallet. Password. Bear with me one moment. Yeah, so, oh, let me share again. Where is my wallet? Oh, there it is, Walt. Here's my friend Walt. So I added my wallet here, and you can see your unique collection ID. Now, if I would click on this I symbol, it would become visible, and I can copy it. And if I copy this code here, that you could make visible with the I symbol, you can copy it to your profile on Deep Funding. And that means that any wallet that is connected here is connected to your profile. So if you have AGIX on multiple wallets, on Ethereum, on Cardano, etc., all this will be accounted for. So that means also if you have a Cardano wallet here, we can use one of the Cardano wallets here to pay you for any contribution reward. The only thing that we didn't really think through yet is if you have multiple Cardano wallets, which one you would like us to use to pay you. So in a future iteration, that is probably some kind of preference that you would be able to add to your wallet environment, but we don't have that yet. But if you have a Cardano wallet related to Walt and your collection ID is connected to the platform, then those are preconditions for us to be able to reward you. And having a reputation and a contribution score alone is not enough. These determine, plus the assessment of the review team, will determine who will get paid. But another precondition is that you need to have voted. So if you have done a lot of contributions, but you are not voting, you will not get paid. And another thing that I might want to mention here, well, two things maybe. Last round, what we did is we had a predefined algorithm that determines who would get paid what. And what we saw happening is a lot of bot activity. Everybody who was there will remember it very clearly. There was a lot to do about that. So what we are doing now, at least until our algorithms are better and more bot-proof, if they will ever be, what we said is we will have a manual assessment. So it's the review team that will decide using some filters and algorithms, etc. But they will decide who they think are the best contributors in this round. We also didn't put a number. We didn't say we want to award 100 or we want to award 10. It depends on where we think there is a proper threshold in quality. So that is another job that will be done after the voting event. And will probably take a couple of weeks or so before completed. Any questions on that? Oh, one more thing, because before I forget, we will make our snapshot for the vote round this time at the beginning of the round. Not at the end of the round, but I think this should be really uninteresting, because I hope that none of you will buy AGIX just for voting, but you will vote because you have AGIX. So in that case, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't need to do any action. But just in case, just to avoid any issues, the snapshot is at the beginning of Deep Funding round 5, somewhere in the morning, Monday morning. I don't know the exact time. All right, Clement, is that, did you have
Yeah, sorry, just one last, sorry, I seem to see about waxing too much, but I just got 3. So the last one is just around the ratings on the review ratings. So I observed that, since let's say someone's got 2 reviews and had an overall 4 and a 5, and then the system calculates the rating as a 4.5. Now, if somebody's got 5 reviews and has a 5, let's say a 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, and that person's definitely gonna get way less, than a 4.5, which means someone who's got just 1 review and had an overall 5, is likely to have a higher rating than someone who probably got 10 reviews and got, let's say, a combination of 4, 5, and rest. So I just want to ask if there's, a kind of a balance now in that system, or maybe we could think futuristically how to, bring a balance in the process moving forward.
Yeah.
Maybe Joanna. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe we will actually definitely touch on that in our presentation. So a lot of the algorithms that the team has worked on actually thinks a lot about some of these issues. So hopefully some of your questions might be answered with this.
For a moment, and let's finish the questions here, and then the floor is all yours.
Yeah.
So I would like to add here, Clement, that if that were our only issue with reviews and ratings, we would be in a very good place. What my superficial observation is in reviews and ratings is that people are incentivized to do that, either because they're affiliated somehow with a project, or because they think they can get a contribution score that way. And we see a lot of things that are at least supported by ChatGPT or whatever, which would be proper if you use it as an assistant, but not just to make you look good, basically. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if this is the right way to go forward in Deep Funding round 5 with this current way of reviews and ratings. But we did think about it, and Joanna will. And by the way, also in previous rounds, we had a calculation around that. So we factored in your reputation score how many reviews you had, and not just the average score. Then I would like to go to probably Ale or Thomas from NerdConf, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I see Thomas. So.
Actually, it's Eva. Eva is the new community builder of NerdConf, and I was like, you gotta meet the town hall and Deep Funding. So she came, and she's the one raising the hand.
All right. Well, good to have you here. Do you have a question? Then yeah, let's try to make it quick, because I'm taking way too much time as usual. Sorry for that.
Okay. So sorry, John.
Thanks, John. Sorry. You're talking. You talk.
Okay, thanks, Eva. Sorry, John. Have you talked, or will you talk about the ACI merge during the voting round? Okay. How does it work? Does it affect the voting with AGIX or ACI? How does it work?
No, to be very honest, that's one of the reasons why we are making the snapshot at the beginning of the round. So we're sure we have that snapshot, and whatever happens, and I don't know what will happen when, but at least we have the snapshot, and we are certain that it won't impact the Deep Funding round.
Perfect. Thanks, Jan.
Cool. Then I suggest we waste no more time and go to Joanna. Welcome, Joanna from Votrack.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's really good to be here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully we'll take a couple, maybe 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then if you guys have any questions. So as mentioned, I'm Joanna. I'm here with my team members, Igor, who will present with me, and Dominic from Trust Level that's collaborating with us on this effort. So we just want to talk a little bit about the work that we've been doing in helping support deep funding when it comes to reputation, score calculation, and voting weight. So for those of you that don't know FOTRAC, really quickly, we're an innovation company. We focus on 3 sectors: risk intelligence, DAO governance, and environmental impact. So a little bit of context. Interestingly enough, this is the project that got me to collaborate with and join FOTRAC. This was the first project that we collaborated on back in Deep Funding 2. So we supported Deep Funding in helping. First, we realized that we definitely need a more comprehensive reputation system, but with everything, especially when it comes to software, you must take like an iterative approach. So the first approach that we took was, let's build a customized solution that's specific for deep funding that will allow them to automate how they calculate these scores. As you've probably seen, there's a lot of spreadsheets, there's a lot of manual work. So all the outputs that all the exports that were outputted from the voting portal and the proposal portal were all inputted into a sheet, and then the calculations were done manually. So we started the efforts in Deep Funding round 2, where at the time the proposal portal was Sway. It was a different portal. So we automated the calculations from there, and we started really thinking about the future requirements for this tool and what it would look like. And then in Deep Funding round 3, we expanded these efforts to, and I'll talk a bit more about the specific solution, but this was to build the MVP that pretty much is a fully functioning tool that will allow automated calculations for reputation scores and voting rates, specifically for Deep Funding now. And as well, in Deep Funding 3, our partners Trust Level conducted several workshops with the likes of Rejuve, Mindplex, SDAO, and many other solutions that are working within reputation systems to gather data about what does a comprehensive solution look like. And Deep Funding round 4 beta, we won a proposal where we're now simulating to measure the quality of community decisions based on different voting mechanisms. So all of these inputs have been, great information for how we can build a robust reputation system. So for this specific MVP tool that will be used for Deep Funding round 4, it's pretty much just a tool that Deep Funding, sorry, just my dog. The Deep Funding can use to import data from the various portals that are used. So we have the voting portal, the wallet linking tool, and the proposal portal. So we'll be able to import the data from these tools using either a manual import, using a CSV import, or an API that will be outputted from the proposal portal. Obviously, we'll perform some ETL operations, and then the team will be able to visualize the tables and the data and produce network visualizations like a network centrality visualization or anything else that will help you analyze this data. And then we'll integrate a lot of the algorithms that have been used already by Deep Funding. So we'll mimic a lot of the current calculations, but as well, Igor will now walk you through a lot of some improvements that we've seen that we can enhance the algorithms with to capture things like what Clement was worried about, or all these other sorts of gaming methods that we can see. And then the team will be able to process calculations automatically and then view and export outputs. So as you see, now we are automating a lot of these manual inputs. Manually, Jan had to allocate potentially millions of dollars, and it was very tedious. So hopefully for this round, we'll be able to automate this for Deep Funding, and then work upwards from there. So I'll just hand it over to Igor now, and he'll walk you through some of the algorithm process ideas that we've worked on as a team, and mostly Igor. Oh, sorry, actually one more thing, just a quick recap of our milestones. So we are near complete with this MVP tool. Our next milestone is now onboarding the Deep Funding team. So we'll start working heavily with them and onboarding them into how to use the tool, getting some feedback. And then the last milestone would be a more community integration aspect. We'll onboard the community as well and let them know more transparently how this tool will work. Okay, Igor, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Igor Oliveira. I am new here at Deep Funding. This is also my first meeting in the town hall, and it's very exciting to participate in this community. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, can you see now? Okay, so one problem we have in the community is that, well, Honestly, voting is hard because you need to review a lot of proposals. You need to see the expertise of the team, evaluate the benefits of the proposal to the community. So, unfortunately, some people opt for a simple or more straightforward path or route. So, we have some extreme or biased voting. For example, the collection ID number 9 only voted on 39 proposals from 117 proposals. And this collection ID number 9 voted grade 10 on the proposal ID 84 and skipped all the other 38 proposals. So this is not a good voting behavior. So what can we do? So to discourage this biased or extreme vote behaviors, we consider the vote entropy. So what is the vote entropy? We make an analysis of how the people are voting in the election. For example, for the collection ID number 9, we can get the probabilities of his voting a grade 10, of his voting a grade 7, a grade 1, or skip one proposal, for example. So let's see. So he voted the grade 10 on one proposal over 117 proposals. So the probability of the collection ID 9 voting grade 10 is 1 over 117, a very small probability. And he skipped all the other proposals. So the probability of he skipping one proposal is 116 divided by 117. And all the other probabilities are 0. So the probability of the collection ID 9 voting at 8 is 0. The probability of the collection ID 9 voting at 5 is 0, and so on. So with these probabilities, we can calculate the voting entropy of the collection ID number 9. So the voting entropy is a negative sum of the probability of the individual voting in one opinion, the skip option, or the grade 1, 2, 3 through 10. So when we compute this vote entropy, the probability multiplied by the log of the probability, we get the vote entropy. And the vote entropy of the collection ID 9 is a very small number, very close to 0, 0.0181. So this very low vote entropy indicates a highly predictable or extreme biased behavior of the collection ID 9. So here's the deal. We can use the vote entropy to make a separation or distinguish between people who are responsibly or honestly voting in the community from people who are making biased or extreme voting. So here you see, for example, the vote entropy for several people from the community, and you see that there is a lot of people here with a very low vote entropy, people with extreme or biased voting. And here you see honesty or responsible voters who gives a good grade to all proposals, who really is doing the hard work of evaluating the proposal. So this is one way of consider the reputation or the score of the people who are voting. What more? Okay, another problem is the wallet splitting or gaming the money weight. So, for example, some people can buy a very much crypto token before the election just to have more voting power. And after voting, they can sell the crypto and not engage more with the community. So to avoid these two problems, the wallet splitting and gaming the money weighting, we can consider the money value in the square root weighting as a function of time. So for example, the money value will increase over time, considering a threshold time, for example, 1 year. So during 1 year, the money value is increasing, and after 1 year, the money value stabilizes at the value. So when people make wallet splitting, the time count restarts. So the people will not get more advantage when they are doing wallet splitting. So this is becoming hard to game the system. There is one potential problem here because if there is a lot of small transactions, so the performance of the system can be affected. So one solution is we will bundle some transaction over a period of time and calculate. So this make the calculation and the performance of the system easier to execute. Okay, another thing is now the value of the money increases with the time. On the other hand, it's good that the engagement score is decreasing over time because otherwise someone can engage a lot with the community, I don't know, in January, and then don't engage more with the community after that. So we are considering here a temporal weight decay. So, for example, contributions done in 1 month or less belongs to rank A and have no decay weight. However, contributions done between 1 and 2 months, for example, will have a decay weight of 10%. So the contribution score is decreasing over time. So this makes people to continuously keep engaged with the community. And then we can apply that to several examples. For example, the comment engagement score. So we can calculate the comment to evaluate people with more engaged with the community. So how we can calculate the comment engagement score of one individual? So for example, we have a standard score, C, from a comment, and this comment has a number of upvote reactions and a number of downvote reactions. So we consider here the weight of upvote reaction and the weight of downvote reaction. So we make this sum to compute the score. And we multiply this by the temporal weight decay, considering the time the comment was made. I'm sorry, someone speaking.
No, I'm muted. Please go on, Igor.
Okay. And then also I had multiplying P0. So what is P0? P0 is like a boost from the comment score because if the comment was upvoted by the project owner, so it is a very good comment. It got this reaction from the project owner. And if the comment was no reaction from the project owner, then P0 is equal to 1. So if you make a comment, a very good comment that's upvoted by the project owner, this increase your comment engagement score. We can also decrease if the project owner downvote your comment, but this makes the project owner too much powerful to decrease the comment engagement score of another individual. So I am not considering this effect here. Okay, but there is more to that because we may value the user contribution when they help the community grow, become a better place to everyone. So what's really good is that if the comment in a project, the ID, the collection ID, is not affiliated or is not related to, or if the comment is not a reaction to a comment made by himself. So if the comment in the project he is affiliated in some way, or a comment is a reaction to another comment himself made, we decrease the comment engagement score by a reduction or penalization factor between 0 and 1. So we are multiplying here by the reduction parameter. And additionally, if the comment both is in a project he is affiliated or a reaction to another comment himself made, so we make the reduction parameter squared here to further decrease the score of the comment from the individual. Okay, and finally, we have the proposal engagement score. So we know that creating good proposals and executing them is a lot of hard work, so we can value this effort. So for example, we can consider this the score proposal of one proposal as the community review of that proposal. We know there is also the expert review, but not all proposals have expert review. So we can use the community review of the proposal P to make how good this proposal is. And then we can calculate the proposal engagement score of one individual. So what we have in this equation here? We have one weight of proposals concluded. So you have a proposal that is funded, awarded, and you conclude the proposal. So this will increase your proposal engagement score. But you also have a temporal weight decay of the time the proposal was made. And here you have the community review divided by 5. So we make a normalization between 0 and 1 for the community review. And on the other hand, we have a weight of proposals not funded. So this will decrease your proposal engagement score. And you also have the temporal weight. And here you have 1 minus the community review divided by 5. This is because if the community review is close to 1, so this will decrease your proposal engagement score even more. So if the community gives a bad community review to your proposal, and your proposal is not funded, this will decrease your proposal engagement score. Now, there is one potential risk with the proposal engagement score, the centralization. So we can have some things with a lot of awarded and concluded proposals, and maybe they can receive very much power. So to avoid that, what we do? We calculate the proposal engagement score in ranks. So for example, you can have the top 20% users with the more proposal engagement score will have an engagement score of 1, while the bottom 20% will have a proposal engagement score of only 0.2. So you see that if we calculate the proposal engagement score in ranks, people with a lot of concluded and awarded proposals will have a higher proposal engagement score, but not too high from the people who don't have any funded or concluded proposal. So you stimulate people to make more proposals, but you don't give them too much voting power. So this is some health encouragement from people concluding this proposal. And now we can put everything together to calculate the total engagement score and the final voting weight of an individual. So we combine the voting entropy, the comment proposal, and the proposal engagement score to calculate the total engagement score. So the total engagement score is the product of the voting entropy multiplying the sum of the comment score and the proposal engagement score. Now, note that the voting entropy is multiplying everything. So, for example, if someone creates a lot of good proposals, make a lot of good comments, but has biased voting or extreme voting, then because the voting entropy is multiplying outside, these people will have an overall total engagement score very low, close to 0, because having a good voting behavior is more important than making a lot of good comments, for example, to the community. So with that, we calculate the final voting weight of one individual using the square root method. So the weight is the square root of the total engagement score multiplied the tokens of the individual. And note that the tokens here is a function of time because we are considering the money value increase over time. And the engagement score is also a function of time because the engagement is decreasing with time. So you have a temporal weight of each individual. And then when people will vote, we can calculate the average grade of a proposal. So the average grade of a proposal will be the sum of the grade the people give from this proposal multiplying this weight. So this is like a geometric mean. And okay, with that, we have some reputation score. Juana, yeah?
Awesome, Igor. May I just share my screen really quickly? We're almost done. So bear with us here. So as Igor showed you, so just a quick recap. We've been working with Deep Funding team to build this tool. While we were building all of this, we're thinking of the next steps, the more comprehensive reputation score tool. So this is just the first iteration. And those algorithms that Igor just went through, these are more future-proof algorithms that could be implemented now, but also could be enhanced to include a lot of the other types of contribution and participation metrics that this tool will include. So with that, what a continuation of this looks like, now that we have a customized tooling for deep funding, we want to think of what does the more comprehensive end-to-end reputations tool look like. So we put in an RFP design proposal where we will input a lot of those requirements gathering sessions, a lot of the work that we've been working into what does 2-3 RFPs that will be outputted. And while in our conversations, we've envisioned that this end-to-end reputation tool would be multi-layered. So would include a knowledge graph where the data from all of these different outputs will be housed. So for example, from this tool where the voting portal data and the proposal portal data is housed, maybe we need a microservice to be able to export blockchain information to calculate the money value time and incorporate that into the algorithms. Maybe there's other solutions out there that include, data captured on how community members participate on social media, on Discord, on meeting participations. All of that would be outlined in the microservice layer RFP. And then we would also want to extract these algorithms and put them into their own layer where they could be further enhanced and configured to create outputs that are specific to each use case. So that's what the continuation of this would look like, and this will fall into the hands of the community to develop further. We just wanted to kind of set the foundations and make sure that there's something usable for deep funding now that they can use for this round and for the rounds to follow, while also building out this comprehensive reputation system that will hopefully be used for deep funding, but maybe also for the entire SingularityNET ecosystem. So I'll end with that. We have a couple of resources if you're interested, but also please feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions. And we're always looking for collaborations, hosting workshops, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Juana and Igor. Fantastic. Are there any questions in the room? That was a lot of great information. Rojo, you have your hands up. Go for it.
Thank you. First, I would like to start by thanking Igor and Juana for the amazing presentation. I specifically loved the theoretical part. I just liked all the details there. I have a couple of comments, and some of them are going to be potential limitations, and one of them is going to be a suggestion. Hopefully you would appreciate those. So I would like to start by talking about extreme voting. So I really like the implementation of the voting entropy. That's very nice. The only limitation that I couldn't stay away from is a potential uniform distribution with a couple of just extreme votings. And I'm wondering if you thought about this and how would you mitigate that? That's one. Maybe I can go through all of them and then you can go for it. The second thing was about the money time. I think that was the name of the concept. I couldn't stop of thinking about people who have their tokens in hardware wallets. So those people like myself often send the tokens to the wallet they're voting with, a couple of days before the voting round or whatever. And I wonder if that will count as a wallet splitting or something like that. I hope not. But that's that. Those are the two potential limitations. There is a couple of stuff, but overall, I think the theory is pretty sound. When it comes to the theory, I also thought, since you're already using entropy there, how about using things like mutual information to look at individuals that are actually voting very similarly? And if you thought about that, and if it can screen, people who are like kind of collaborating to do extreme voting and stuff like that. Those are my points. Again, thanks a lot for the presentation. That was amazing, and thanks a lot for your hard work. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot for your question. Very interesting. So your first question was about the uniform distribution. This is a pretty good question. But in general, when people do some extreme or biased voting, they wanted to vote very high in one proposal and they don't care about the other proposal. So for example, if I want to really vote on the proposal ID 84, I want to give grade 10 on him and not vote on the other proposals. So if I make a uniform distribution, I am forced to give good grades to another proposal. I have to give the grade 10 for the proposal 30, for the proposal 10, and so on. So if I make a uniform distribution, I am not more giving a very good grade to the proposal I want to, and disfavorate the competition along the other proposal. So this is like a self-defense of the entropy method, because if you really want to make a very good grade to one proposal, you need to give bad grade to another proposal. So this is the biased behavior. Your opinion about the wallet, I also hope does not count as wallet splitting. And your third opinion about the mutual information is very interesting, like making some correlation how people is voting. I think that's a very good idea, and I will look forward to develop this idea better. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your answer. Appreciate it.
Henrik?
Yes. Well, as part of the FOTREC team, I just wanted to really congratulate Juana and Igor on a fantastic presentation. They've really done super work. Juana and I have built a really terrific collaboration over several years, and Igor has just joined us in the last couple of months and has already made really innovative contributions. So it's quite exciting to see how the team has grown and evolved, and we really appreciate working with the SingularityNET community. It's been a terrific effort. Thanks.
Thanks, Henrik. I just wanted to add one more thing to Rohu's question. As I mentioned as well, we're working on a proposal now where we're simulating the quality of community decisions based on different voting mechanisms. But the outputs of that also, because Igor and I have also been discussing how reputation scores will affect some of those decisions. So all the outputs of that, hopefully, which will be, I think the project will be done in a couple months, hopefully will be inputs to how the continuation of this project and the development of these algorithms would work further. So there's going to be a lot of good resources and data to pull from to make this a more robust system. Ubio, I don't know if you still had a question, but it would be nice if you still had a question. This is a great conversation.
Well, I'll just add quickly too that although we have specific project goals that we're working directly with John, Trust Level, and the FOTREC team on, it's all open source. It's a community resource. So if there's other people in the community that want to contribute to the effort, we're happy to try to facilitate that.
Jan?
Yeah, thank you. That's my main message. And especially thank you, because how did I ever try and do all that stuff in an Excel sheet? Damn it. And that Excel sheet started in Deep Funding round 1, and it got more and more complex, and I knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. But of course, it doesn't have the sophistication that you are bringing here, so that's a great step forward. And for me personally, it's a huge relief, because when you have a 20-page Excel sheet with I don't know how many formulas on each tab, and there's such a big room for something going wrong. So when I published the results in previous rounds, I was really anxious, and I looked over it and again, and I asked Rafael and others to double check. And we did have some good checks and balances. Our development blockchain team, for instance, would calculate the same scores in a different way than I did. And if that would count up, then we would be pretty sure it was okay. But you know, it cost me a lot of sweat and tears and anxiety to try and make that already pretty complex calculations in that old-fashioned way. So I think it's good for me, but I also think it's good for the community that we now have a good and professional tool that we can use and that everybody can rely on. And yeah, like these distributions that you put in, etc., make it so more sophisticated that it's also harder to game that way. And finally, I can't resist making a little comment on what Rocco said. So thank you for your comments, Rocco, and compliments that you are able to take all of that in such a short presentation. At the end of the day, we can't look in people's heads, right? So if I want to score, and also at the end of the day, it's okay to give a project a 10 if you really think it deserves a 10. The only thing that we can do is to remove the most extremes and to average it a little bit. So we did see actually people in past rounds that just rated 20 proposals with a 1 and 1 proposal with a 10. It was quite awkward to see that. So that we will get rid of. And if somebody rates 10 projects with a 6, a 7, or 8, and 1 with a 10, we will never know if that 10 is for that person's own project or for another project. And that's one of the limitations we have to live by until the moment that we can put sensors in everybody's head and read those directly. But I'm not sure if we want to go there. So yeah, thanks a lot. Great work and looks very professional. Also the architecture. I also do support the next steps with the knowledge graph, with the microservices, with the calculation layer that will enable this system, not just for deep funding, but also for other programs out there, which will make our whole community and ecosystem stronger and will allow us to make those contribution scores of yours liquid across different projects. So that would also be a major asset there. So I hope, and I'm actually sure that at some point we will be able to continue on that path. So thanks a lot for that work right now. The real proof of the pudding is in the eating. So we will know in about 2 weeks what the outcomes are of this system, and I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah, and just before Rafael, I'd like to express my gratitude and appreciation for how this went about, because this was a very complicated thing. Obviously, when you start working on a new project, you want to build the entire thing, but I like how iterative we've built it. And like I mentioned, like the next steps are really to now think about this fully fledged solution. And with this multi-layered approach, and thanks to all of the inputs that we've gathered from the workshops and just the different sessions that we've had, I think it's in safe hands now for the community to take it forward. So that's very exciting. Rafael?
Yeah, thank you. And yes, thank you. The first task that Jan gave to me when I joined Deep Funding was to review this spreadsheet with 27.5.3 million bytes or whatever. And it was really, well, I was amazed by the challenge of going through, but it was the first glance of how complex the task, or my task in Deep Funding also would be. So, and seeing, sorry, the way you were able to capture a lot of small details and nuances of even social behavior. For instance, if I am the proposer, who better than me to say which comment is contributing to my project, right? So I have a higher grade when I'm upvoting that comment, but at the same time, it shouldn't be me giving the reducing the score of that vote if it's negative. So there is, if I'm giving a bad grade to it, it's because it's not recommending my proposal. Of course, but it's quite we can expect people doing that. So these small details that came at first, it looks like it's a presentation of math for Rojo, for instance, but also has a very important and interest social background in it. So for this mix that you guys were able to develop, at least the theory, as Jan said, we are starving, so let's eat this pudding in 2 weeks to to see how it's going to behave. But indeed, until now, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be able to deliver, until now, to see this mix of technical math background and also social behavior, it was amazing, mind exploding. Thank you very much, guys, for facilitating our lives. You are lifesavers for us.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the social aspect as well is something that will continue to grow. I think Igor did a fantastic job at capturing what could be incorporated from the data that exists now. So the comments, the likes, the reactions, everything that we can capture from the proposal portal. But as mentioned, these algorithms will be enhanced the more data inputs that we can get from various sources. So yeah, Igor is a genius when it comes to that. So thank you. Kenrick?
Well, and I was going to say that actually Igor joined us to work on our newest project, Fund 4B, on the simulation. And actually the main point of that is to look at this whole problem of extreme voting, because that's actually the main power of the quadratic voting method, when you can express through your weighting on your actual votes how much you care about a particular project, but now you have to price that quadratically. So rather than a weighting on wealth, which is kind of a first step that SingularityNET is doing, we're now going to look at a second step where it's actually a weighting on how strong your preferences are. And I was thinking, as you were presenting, Igor, your entropy metric will be really helpful in that other project as a way to evaluate different voting schemes and how well they directly control this difference between extreme voting versus honest voting.
Yeah, exactly. So on the simulation, we are going to test several metrics, include the voting entropy, the comment engagement score, and so on, and to see how they can help the community make better decisions for everyone. So we will make several simulations, including several scenarios and several voting mechanisms, to better understand how these metrics, how this reputation system can really help the society, the community to voting better. So it's a very exciting project. We are looking forward to see the results of the reputation system in this simulation. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Looking at the clock, we're coming up to 2 hours. So many of you are still here. Yes, thank you, Juana. Thank you, Igor. Thank you, Jan and Rafael. Fantastic presentations. Today, again, the voting cheat sheet is live for everyone to use. Please make sure to at least review and vote a few proposals if you can. Remember, you're making a huge difference in the SingularityNET ecosystem. You're deciding on the future of the SingularityNET marketplace. You're supporting builders, you're supporting entrepreneurship, you're supporting families. Some of these projects have the potential to make a huge difference in the world and across so many industries. It really is wonderful to see what we're doing here. We're sending a wave of change out, I feel like. Quick check in the room if there's any more questions or comments. If not, I'm gonna let you go on about your morning, afternoon, or evening. But yes, please, if you have any last comments, let us know. And if not, I just wanted to thank you for being here. Still after 2 hours, we have an incredible community. And I really hope to see you the next week. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Jan, any last words? Rafael, any last words?
Go vote.
Go vote, yes.
Just a couple of days away on Monday. Monday afternoon, not at the middle of the night in CET or UTC as we used to do, but now at a proper time of the day. So if there are any last changes, we can do that in a normal waking hours. We will start the voting round. So we have a week, and yeah, looking forward how all your votes will fill up the tool of Igor and Joanna and Kenrick. So let those votes stream in. And don't do extreme voting. You heard, it won't help you. Unless you really believe in it.
Thank you so much, everyone.
There's another question. Has the snapshot been taken? Jan, has the snapshot been taken? You said at the beginning of the round, right?
Yeah, Monday. So a couple of hours before the round will open, we are planning to do this to do the snapshot.
Okay,
Yeah, the
snapshot on
voting
Monday.
period. Yeah, the voting period.
At the beginning of the voting period on Monday. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, everyone. Have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and we'll see you in one of the next town halls. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
Thank you so
lot.
much, everyone. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. And thanks, Judith, for presenting.
Absolutely. Bye.
Wonderful as always.
Pleasure.